wider and wider. Things can't spin as fast when they get wider in the atmosphere, and it looks like that this has actually gotten up to be a better scan here. And for the Weather Service is saying the next scan or two, they may let this expire. And this means that this could have been what I was mentioning a few moments ago, a brief spin-up tornado. We don't know if we have confirmation yet, but what happens with those, they're hard to find on the radar because you get those 5-minute intervals of those updates. They can spin up real quick, they're usually weak, and they don't last long, and that's why we were in code red, because that potential was there for the exact same area what we're seeing this warning so far this morning. So we always use these different colors, and I know it can be confusing when we show all these different things that are all different colors and what are we looking at. But if everything lines up, and I keep a circle on these storms most of the time because when things line up together, if I switch back over to, let's say what we call our rotation detector, and you can see what that says on the top underneath the words rotation detector, that if it's green, that means there could be some weak rotation. So if I'm seeing the red and green of spin and broad rotation, and the rotation detector is also seeing that, that tells us the possibility of some spin. Now, does everything that rotate hit the ground? Absolutely not. Tammy. But we definitely do take a look at this here. And if you just heard Jen's voice right now, she's making more phone calls just to make sure people in these areas aren't seeing anything, or if they are, what's going on. And also just give them the heads up, because not everyone's watching TV right now. So that's why you also should have the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. It would alert you in a moment. The instant a warning is issued if it's for your county, if you're anywhere within that red flashing polygon, that red flashing box. I'm going to check in with the Weather Center again. More scans. What that means is a few more of those 5-minute jumps when it comes to any potential rotation. I'm going to clear this out and reset the stage. If you are just joining us here, the entire viewing area is under a code red weather alert, but not everyone is in this tornado warning. Nashville, you are not in a warning. You are seeing a lot of lightning. You have a lot of thunder with that and a lot of rainfall, but this is down toward the Centerville area, down toward Linden, where you're seeing these purples that are popping up here on the radar. I will once again circle the area of concern, and we'll pop through a few different things here while we continue just to call businesses in the area and people that we know to see what they're seeing as well. This is going back to our velocity detector, and another scan has just come in. Things are beginning to continue to stay on the broader side of rotation, meaning a not very compact system that we're seeing. This is, again, until 7:45. If they do not expire it early, I would not be surprised with seeing this if they end up lifting this warning for us here and just going back into normal mode, keeping the scans going. But these types of systems that we're seeing right here always have the potential to get these little areas that can really get just enough air going inside of them to get some lift. The air is warm in front of this. We're talking 60s right now. Behind this, the air is in the 50s and 40s. So warm and cold air don't like each other, and opposite spinning air masses do not like each other. I want you to listen up right now. If you're in Beaver Dam Springs, if you're in Timmins, if you're all the way up towards Swan Bluff and Centerville, stay in your safe spot right now. Turn the TV up if you're not there yet. Get right into the basement. Get into that interior room that you've got in your home. More walls between you and the outside, the better we're going to be. And keep that TV turned up. I'll give you the all clear when you guys can get out of your safe spot. I would say Pine View, you're in the all clear. Horner, you're in the all clear. Flatwoods, all clear there as well. But Hohenwald, all the way north up to Lobelville. Make sure that you are staying in that safe spot. This is our first warning so far this morning. We went into the entire afternoon yesterday talking about what's going to happen overnight tonight, and now we've got the heavy rain, and we do have the thunder and lightning, and I believe we have an update for us here. Jen, what are you hearing?
So let's see here. Yeah, okay, I just got off the phone with the folks at H&R Ace Hardware in Hohenwald. So your warning area, Greg, that flashing red polygon is just a little north of downtown Hohenwald, and I called and talked to Tammy at the H&R Ace Hardware there. She says they're not seeing anything right now where they are. Again, this is in downtown Hohenwald, and I can see you're circling that area. She says right now they're all cleared. That adds up and tracks with what you're seeing on radar right now. I can see that little blank space in that area.
Yes.
But she says they are alert right now. They are watching, and they are prepared if they have to get to their safe space. But right now, downtown Hohenwald is not seeing any sign of rotation anywhere.
So we've heard from Linden that they did not see any rotation. We have now heard from Hohenwald that no one visibly was seeing anything.
Sure.
I've been talking about a radar picture of what looks to be a system falling apart a little bit, and I'm seeing from the weather service here that rotation continues to weaken, and the warning is going to be allowed to expire. That may not show up on the map here, but it will be allowed to expire as we go into 7:45. They may keep it on the map just as a precaution, but we have not seen anything actively on the ground. They have not, and things have been weakening here in this area. And it's always great when we get that visual confirmation safely if you're in these areas, we're not asking you to go out and look. The people that we are calling, we're telling them to safely do it from a distance, from a very safe spot. And we're just taking a look here at, this can happen. If you're new to Tennessee and you're waking up right now with us and you just flip this on, this is not our old broadcast. This is right here and now. We can get severe weather. We can have tornado warnings. It can be active any time of the day, especially in the winter when you have these warm and cold fronts that move in and swing back and forth through middle Tennessee. I'm going to say for us, this is an active tornado warning well to the south and west of the Nashville area. First thing I want to do is kind of re-rack and reset the radar to the entire viewing area, to the radar you're used to seeing. And this shows us that Nashville, you're hearing the thunder. You have got the lightning. We have got a lot of rain coming down in some areas where it's limiting our visibility. You are not in a tornado warning. You are not in any sort of warning, but it's going to slow you down getting up and getting moving and getting out the door. Now, where this warning is again well down to the south and west, and the trajectory of all of our showers and storms this morning are going along the line of this arrow. So they are moving to the right side of the screen, but they're tracking and they're trending in the direction to where we've got to watch this system even if they expire the warning, because this could end up popping back up. Storm systems like this have, a tendency to do this where they'll move, they'll lose a lot of their energy, they'll find a little energy ahead of it, and you could get more rotation that builds back in. So if anyone wonders why are we in code red, waking up, this is exactly why, because even one warning is too many warnings in my book, and it's all worth watching. The red lights are on, and we're also always live in tornado on the ground. We treat it as such, but just so you know that this is not going to be the end of this morning for us here. Our severe weather possibility is still going to be with us until we get ourselves into the afternoon. It will shift its focus more toward the east, out toward the Cumberland Plateau. That's later on this morning toward early afternoon. We'll zoom back into the area of concern. And what is nice to see at this point, or at least comforting to see at this point, is there's not a lot of close-knit rotation here, where it's not very tight rotation. It has continued to weaken. And on top of that, we're also talking about, they've not extended this polygon. That flashing red box has not moved more toward the north and to the east. However, we are hearing about, and like I told you earlier, I actually mentioned this about 5 minutes ago, potential reports of some pea-sized hail in the Hohenwald area. And that's also why our sky looks the way it does. So many of these storms are so tall that you can end up getting so much energy that is so elevated, starts to freeze, hail core brings hail back into it, over and over. And pea-sized hail is a decent size. It's not severe weather criteria, but it tells us that we do have some very active storms in this area. We'll take a look and see what the Weather Service has to say for us here, but we have reports from people that we have called here on the air for you from Linden and Hohenwald that are not seeing anything on the ground. The Weather Service has not gotten any reports of anything on the ground, and I have seen nothing on the radar that has overly concerned me. They put this warning in effect about 15 minutes ago for some more broad rotation that has since decayed into what almost looks like a normal thunderstorm when it comes to rotation itself. I want to take a look here at the regular radar, and we can see it looks more like a typical thunderstorm at this point. So we're going to see how much longer we end up rolling with this warning, and it looks like the line of storms that has been trending on this the last few scans will continue to trend the same way that they have, but models are showing that, we're seeing things as the sun comes up get a little bit more active along this path line. So these are the cells we'll have to be watching here in the coming hour or two, and I'm hearing that we've got more coming in for us here at the anchor desk. Jen?
Yes, on the ground in the areas that you're talking about. I just got off the phone with a couple of different local businesses in Centerville. Now I can see Centerville is on your map. It does look to be in that tornado warned area. So it's in your red flashing polygon. Downtown Centerville, by the way, a cute little quaint town square. I just talked to the folks at Owens Oil Company in Centerville. He tells me just heavy rain right now. He does not see any indication of any kind of rotation or anything like that. Also talked to the folks just moments ago at Prince Hardware, also in the heart of downtown Centerville, and he told me it's just stormy, and he also has not seen any sign of tornadoes. So all in all, Greg, hearing from the folks from Hohenwald, from Linden, from Centerville, at least in the locations that I've called and been able to reach out to people, they are seeing just really stormy conditions right now.
And that's what we're hearing from everyone that I'm seeing in the National Weather Service chat.
Okay.
They are going to let this expire, so it's going to come off the map in the next hour, or the next minute or two, at 7:45. So now they're just keeping this up here. They're not pulling it early. We've been watching radar scan after radar scan. There is no more confirmation of any radar indicated rotation. This has gone back to a normal system. Was there something on the east of Linden when this was issued about 20 minutes ago? That'll be the real question, because this could have been a brief spin-up tornado where those conditions were just right to pop a little small weak tornado for just a few minutes, and by the time the radar caught up to it, it may have already lifted back off the ground. If that's the case, the Weather Service will go out there if they feel like they have to and do a survey, but they have not extended this morning. In about 2 minutes from right now, we're going to see this box pop off. So what I'm going to do in the meantime, until it does, just in case this decides to spin a little bit more, I'm going to set the scene for the rest of today. We'll take you back to the big radar picture for all of us. What we're seeing here across the board is a very dynamic atmosphere. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll show you. I'll circle a few things. We have now brand new thunderstorms that are popping up just to the west of the Murfreesboro area that were not there just a half hour ago, meaning the atmosphere is now getting woken up. All the areas that have not seen rain yet have had a little chance, even though it's cloudy, to work into a little bit of sun to heat up things just enough and to wake up all the ingredients you need to fire on thunderstorms. If you are in areas like Clarksville, Hopkinsville, Portland, the Bowling Green area, even Dixon off toward the west, you're in the all clear. Once this initial line moves through where you're at, everything dies down, and that chance for thunderstorms that could be strong to severe goes away very, very quickly. And again, this warning going to be allowed to expire here in the next minute, but I always stay on until that box goes away just in case. And we'll zoom back in to see why they did put out that warning, because there were some indications of some rotation earlier on, about 15-20 minutes ago. This could happen again later on this morning. There is no guarantee that we stay severe weather free. Just because we have so far until this specific warning doesn't mean that that continues. Taking a look at the Cumberland Plateau, I'm going to give you the last 12 hours and see what you don't see over the plateau. Rewinding in real time has happened over the plateau. So now, Weather Service is actually, well, the Storm Prediction Center is actually expanded our chance for severe weather in. Just keep that in mind. That possibility is there.
All right, Greg Bobus has been keeping us up to date with things happening out there in the mid-state here as we have just exited the tornado warning area that was set for places like Linden, Hole-in-Wall, and Centerville. But that tornado warning, according to the National Weather Service, in the last few seconds has just expired.
All right, so we can breathe a sigh of relief. Want everyone to just kind of collectively regain our thoughts here, but also do want you to be weather aware. This is why we go into a code red weather alert.
Yes.
And that is to make sure you are aware and prepared for weather that could potentially have a negative impact on your day. Now, as we move out of that tornado warning, we do want to check back in with our code red meteorologist, Greg Bobus, right now, because he was mentioning just a moment ago, we may now have an expanded concern for severe weather here in the mid-state. So I think we're going to get to Greg after we take this very quick break. We're going to reset, and then we'll join you back here in just a couple of minutes. Stick with us.